Carousel of Connor.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Carousel of Connor. Today we are doing a resort tour of Art of Animation. I'm not alone either, I'm with Morgan from Teaching Disney. So let's go walk around. So we're in the main lobby right now. I have stayed here once before. I was over in the cars, which we'll see later. But we'll go give you guys just a quick view here. So once you walk in through those main doors, which is right there, you come right over here and this is where you check in. One of my favorite parts of this resort, guys, is the animation on the wall, the artwork. That's pretty cool too, and you can see like he had like, well, is this Lightning McQueen?
This is Lightning McQueen, yeah.
Oh, so he was 57 at one point. All right, you learn something every day. That's why it made me like double think. I was like, maybe it's not him. Yeah, this is pretty cool, guys. You see all the different artwork. Obviously, you can learn too. I just learned something that I didn't know. Oh yeah, and you see like that doesn't look like the Ursula we saw, or the Ariel really. I mean, Ariel kind of looks the same, but Ursula is a lot. Yeah, I don't know if I would have watched if she looked like that. That's kind of scary.
I think she's supposed to be like based on an angelfish.
Oh, okay. That's horrifying. It actually goes like, I don't know, maybe it's like an obvious thing, I didn't notice it, but it starts like basic down there and then more and more detail. So we saw like the number change for Lightning McQueen, and then down there he has no number. It's kind of like very basic. And then you come in the finished product. It didn't hit me until we walked down here, so. Guys, one thing that's kind of like a little depressing here is like, you'd always see kids like sitting here when their parents would be checking in right behind us. Kids would always like here, they would have like come with some kind of like Disney Channel show on, or but yeah, it's kind of a little sad here. Very empty for sure too, but it's also on a Monday, so this is actually like the finished frames too, like from the clips from the movie. All right, so there we go. And Morgan was just saying she's never been here. She knows more than me, and I've stayed here, so there we go. All right guys, so we just entered the ink and paint shop here. And one thing I will look, I mean, you guys know what Disney gift shops look for the most part, so I'm not gonna show too much. Here's some of the Art Animation exclusive merchandise here. They have this pretty cool hat, and this actually like has a really nice feel to it. It's almost like a felt kinda. That's $27.99. They have this really cool photo frame as well. Let's see what the price of this is. This is something I hope comes to Disney Character Warehouse, but I haven't seen too many frames that are like resort frames. I've seen a lot of like more generic like princess and stuff like that there. They also have these really cool, it looks like these might be for like younger girls, but they have these really cool art animation shirts, and some of them are in color, some of them are not, which I think is cool. $24.99. All right guys, they do have these really cool pens. I kind of missed the price at first, but $7.99 right there. And then they have the magnet and keychains as well with the different prices. So for $9.99, there's this really cool Art of Animation pin, which I liked a lot because it looks a lot like the wall, which I think is really cool. It's been a while since I've been here too, so I'm pretty excited to kind of walk around here and see everything. They have different shirts over here too, right on the side of this, for $24.99. Those look like boy shirts, and then they also have, these look like men's sizes over here. These are $19.99, and then they have another women's shirt too. It's a V-neck. $29.99. I'm not a big personal fan of V-necks. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys like V-necks, or do you like, you know, just your regular? Morgan's filming hers over there, but I'm gonna just kind of piggyback off of that too. The Pixel Play, which is the arcade here, is currently closed too, which is like another sad thing too, because I remember like it's something I always looked forward to as a kid. You go in there while mom and dad were like checking in or something like that, and now you can't do that. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys for a second here. I did film a whole video with Morgan, and only half of that footage, it's kind of a long story, I can keep it short, half of that footage was saved. So I'm back here another day. As you guys can see, there is no Morgan, but I am gonna mention a few things that she had mentioned to me, because I do feel bad that I wasn't having all that footage, you know, with her kind of walking around. But you gotta, you know, make do what you got. I mean, it came back another day. So now we're gonna finish off this resort tour. So one thing that's super nice, guys, is when you come out of Animation Hall, where Landscape of Flavors is, where the ink and paint shop is, which is the gift shop here, you come right over here and you have the directory to the entire resort. All right guys, so we're entering the Lion King section, which is the first theme section you guys are gonna see in this resort tour. There's 4 different ones. Yes, 4 different ones. Lion King is the first. You got Rafiki kind of greeting him here, and Zazu's actually on the other side. But now we're gonna make our way through this portion of the resort. And then kind of midway through this section, you have Simba, Timon, and Pumbaa in the middle there, kind of walking over this archway here, which I think is really cool because it almost leads into one of the doorways here. Now this is something that me and Morgan were kind of touching on the other day that I'm going to touch on right now, is that 3 of the 4 kind of themed areas here have indoor access, where the other one, Little Mermaid, only has the outdoor access. So you can actually access your rooms from outside, where in here all the rooms are inside. And as you guys can see through the door here, in each part, so whether it's Cars, Lion King, or Finding Nemo, there's gonna be like a little portrait inside across from the elevators. So this one, you can see Timon's in there, but the other ones are gonna have different ones depending on what building you're in, which is pretty cool. And now we're actually entering the elephant graveyard, which is pretty cool here. You can actually go right under this part too. And I think this is mostly for kids, but this would be a cool pretty like area to kind of come and play around. But that is pretty sweet. Another thing to watch out for too is actually when you're walking through the elephant graveyard, the paintings on the building actually change. So you can see like some of the hyenas in there. That is kind of cool that it changes, you know, as you're walking. And here's the other entrance I talked about when we saw Rafiki. You got Zazie right there kind of welcoming you in, and then the elephant graveyard will be right behind that. And now we're making our way over to the Little Mermaid section. We're gonna walk in here and see what other kind of things we can find to point out to you guys. I had this debate with Morgan the other day, and I don't know for sure, but I did look up some hidden Mickeys before I came. And from what I read, they said that right there, that purple, and it's like, but you see that the 2 ears and the head are kind of separated, that's a hidden Mickey. Now, I don't know for a fact if that's true or not, because honestly, to me, I would not count that because it's not really like connected, but maybe it is. Let me know in the comments below, guys. Do you know if that is a hidden Mickey or not? Is that like an official hidden Mickey, or is that maybe one that like somebody kind of made up? So as I mentioned earlier, the Little Mermaid portion of the resort is the one where you have the outdoor access. So you guys can see you can access the rooms from outside, where the 3 other ones you cannot. And then right over here is the Flippin Fins pool, which is one of the first secondary pool we're seeing here. And this is in the Little Mermaid section, which we saw in the corner when we looked at that directory. Kind of one of the main features of the Flippin Fins pool is Ariel and Flounder kind of looking over. You can see all the fish are kind of like lined up behind them, which is pretty cool. It's also features like this that I think make this resort super special, because if you look at other pools in other resorts, the secondary pools I'm talking about, they don't make them like as cool as the actual like big pool itself. Where here the big blue pool is not here right now, but then there's 2 other really cool like themed pools here at Art of Animation when you can't go that big one. And this pool, there's nothing like super special about it as far as like the pool itself, but the fact that you have all the characters on the buildings and everything around it, I think that makes it a little more special. So yeah, we've only seen one. We still have to go see the Cozy Cone, and we're gonna head over there right now. This is a really good time to pose a question to you guys too. What is your favorite pool at a Disney resort? And if any of you guys want to really throw a curveball out there, is anybody's favorite pool not like a feature pool, but like a secondary pool? That gets you thinking, huh? Let me know in the comments below. I said this with Morgan the other day, but I think one of the coolest things about staying at Art of Animation or Pop Century is the fact you are so close to both of them. I think that's really awesome that you have 2 resorts so close. So if like one gift shop doesn't have something you want, you can go there. If one, you know, cafeteria doesn't have the food items that maybe you're looking for specifically, maybe the other one does. Like you kind of just have double of everything, which I think is really cool. And if you've stayed at the Art of Animation, let me know in the comments below. What was your stay like? And what was your favorite part about the resort? Let me know in the comments below. So there's little facts spread throughout the resort here. My dad's been reading most of them, but this one just says, did you know a postcard stuck on the back of the wall of a dentist's office offers greetings from Emeryville, which is Pixar's hometown. So it's kind of cool that it tells you about that, about the dentist's office. That's something to look at when you watch the movie again, but there's, I guess, little facts and things like that throughout. So at each section, you guys can look out for these. So right here is the Disney Skyliner, which is right between Art of Animation, which is where we were over there, and then Pop Century, which is right over here. And there's this bridge here kind of separating the 2, which I think is really cool, very convenient. And this actually goes over to the Caribbean beach, and I'll show you guys a sign in 1 second that's going to give us a little more information about this. And here's the sign I was talking about too. So this is now boarding 2, and it goes to Caribbean Beach Resort, and also transfers to Hollywood Studios and the Riviera Resort and Epcot. I know this is something I look out for when I usually in a resort too, is the running trail. The running trail here, which I think is kind of cool because you kind of get the best of both worlds. So I actually stayed at Art of Animation one time, and I was lucky enough to stay right here at the Wheel-Well Motel, which is the motel that I think Sally once owned in Cars, which I think is pretty cool in Radiator Springs. And this was actually like a really cool place to stay, just because, I mean, look at it, and it's like at the Mecca part, or kind of at the end of Radiator Springs. I think it just kind of makes it so cool. And just like I mentioned back in Lion King, there is a Lightning McQueen in Radiator Springs, kind of a cool little, like, it's not really a mural, but just like a picture right in front of where the elevators were. One thing I want to point out real quick too is inside. Check out these lights in here, they look like cones. So right over here is the Cozy Cone pool, which I think is a really cool area. It looks just like the Cozy Cone Motel. And this is actually probably one of my favorite pools here on Disney property, just because it is so cool, especially now during COVID, when it's not that crowded here. You can actually like probably be able to stay in one of the Cozy Cones, which I think would be even cooler. And as I mentioned earlier, this is the third pool here at Art of Animation. I would say it's one of the two secondary pools, because we already talked about the big blue pool, which we're going to see in just a moment. But yeah, the Cozy Cone I think is definitely a great secondary option. And honestly, I almost rather swim there normally, just because this pool is usually less crowded than the big pool anyway. So even if the big pool was opened, I'd probably choose here if I was a guest. And even if you're not staying at the Wagon Wheel Motel, which I think is a cool section to kind of be staying in, Casa della Tires I think is a pretty cool too. You got Guido and Luigi here. Luigi's Casa della Tires. You even have the Leaning Tower of Tires right here in the midst of everything. And I think this would be a really cool place to stay as well. And like I said, I think Cars honestly is probably my favorite section of Art of Animation. If you guys have stayed at Art of Animation, let me know what your favorite section was out of those four. So Little Mermaid, Finding Nemo, Lion King, or Cars. Let me know what your favorite is. Mine's Cars. So we looked at Wagon Wheel. We also looked at Luigi's. Now you have Tow Mater, Towing and Salvage. And there's Tow Mater himself. Mater kind of just greeting you in to this building, which it kind of looks like a shack, you know, that he was staying in. Really cool details here. And also too, you have Sergeant Surplus way down there as well, which I think is, you know, really cool to look at. Another really cool thing about this resort, and you can see we're kind of walking here now, is it looks like a road. So I think it's just like even more great theming here. And then as you're kind of walking down on the road, there's like little signs like you won't get busted. So we're going from Radiator Springs to Finding Nemo. You have the seagulls here, and they actually go mine, mine, mine. Here they have like a little recording they play, and just every once in a while. And I don't know if you have to like do something to trigger that or whatnot, but they do it randomly, it seems like. Now along the building you have different fish kind of here, and also they don't have Bruce like as far as like one of those, but they do have him on the wall here. You can see that that's Bruce, and they also have the other sharks here as well, which is pretty awesome. And I'm a little surprised that Squirt isn't over with Crush, but you do have Crush here with Dory, and they are currently on the EAC, and you can see the other turtles kind of following them in that current, which is pretty cool. And then once again, there's the indoor entrance. We're right by the big blue pool, and this is where big refurbishments are being done. As you can see, all the workers are kind of in the pool right now, and this started back on January 11th and it's stretching till April 2021 is when they expect this to be completed. If you are planning a future stay here at Art of Animation, you might want to keep that in mind, or you might already know that already, but if you didn't, just keep that in mind that the big blue pool might not be available. So if you are in one of these Nemo rooms, Little Mermaid and Cars might be a better option for you. You can see the jellyfish too are all wrapped up. I don't know if that's, you know, because they're gonna eventually like put a coat of paint on it. My guess is maybe that's already like good to go, and they're just trying to save it so that, you know, all the dust from the pool and everything like that doesn't get on the jellyfish. One of the things Morgan pointed out when she was here with me was the fact that Pop Century is also getting their pool redone, and I know she's here I think till like, I guess it was Saturday, so this is going on Monday, so 2 days ago, but she said it's actually starting. So I think this week right now, when you guys are watching this, the time you guys are watching this, that pool might be being renovated too, the major pool. And although the big blue pool is being refurbished, the schoolyard spray ground is actually open still, so kids can go into the schoolyard spray ground and still enjoy that, which is really nice when, you know, the big pool is not open. And where those kids are playing kind of in the splash zone, that's where you can find Nemo and Marlin in the anemone. Also, if you're kind of worried about not having the big blue pool here in this Nemo section, they have that splash zone. They also have like a little playground here kids can play on. And I just wanted to mention here too, if you are worried about kind of the sanitation of it and everything, they do have a 10 guest capacity note right here. No one's really enforcing this right now, but they do have that sign up there, so hopefully most people will read that. I know that's a big if, but hopefully they do. They also have hand sanitizer available for the kids as well. And actually on the other side of the pool, so we were on that side before when we were kind of looking at everything, you can see some of the materials here or the equipment they're using for the refurbishments. If you are staying in the Finding Nemo area of Art of Animation and you're worried about the noise kind of coming from the refurbishments from the workers, I did read online that the noise was going to not be a thing from dusk till 9 a.m. So basically most of the night and morning too, because you know a lot of times you're already probably in the parks by 9 a.m. But it's about 5 o'clock now. It's like 5:15, 5:30 I believe. And there's no one here. It's very quiet. There's no construction going on. So just something to note if you are staying here. And let me know in the comments, guys, too, if you enjoy these resort tours that I've been doing. I've done one before, actually, at Coronado Springs, and I got over 1,000 views, and it seemed like everyone kind of liked that a lot. So let me know if you guys want to see more of that, and if you do want to see more, what are some of the resorts that you would like to see? No resort tour can be complete without a trip to the pool bar, and here is the drop-off, which I think is probably one of the coolest names of any pool bar here at Disney World. My personal opinion, but let me know, guys, if you love the drop-off. And one of the coolest things about this sign, and also many of the signs here in the Nemo section of Art of Animation, is you can see the fish are actually making the sign, which I think is really awesome too. If you guys remember from the movie, they did like arrows when they were giving directions and things like that. So it is cool that they have the fish kind of saying the drop-off. I think it's also like for the restrooms. And here is the menu here at the drop-off pool bar. They have the Big Ocean, which I think is what I'm going to go with. I've actually made this at home before. That's $15. Captain's Pineapple, which is $13. Banana Cabana, the Pina Colada. They have Quick Eats too, which is salad with grilled chicken, a turkey sandwich, and then your classic snacks, which is pretzel with cheese sauce, assorted chips, Mickey's Premium Bar, Nestle's. Can't go wrong with that, as everyone knows, and the strawberry fruit bar as well. So I got the Big Blue Ocean, and this actually has Sveka Vodka, Bacardi Superior Rum, Bowls Blue Carousel, Minute Maid Lemonade, and it comes with a souvenir glow cube. And this is all for the price of $15. And I've had this drink before. I've had it here, I've made it at home, but luckily this is my first time. So good. No, it is really good though. I do enjoy this. You can really taste the lemonade in it, but you can also taste like the alcohol too. The rum. Very good. I do suggest it. It is a $15 drink, so it's a little more expensive than I guess your average drink, but we're also in Disney, you have to remember that. So Disney drinks are always a little more than everywhere else. I hope you guys enjoyed this Art of Animation resort tour. Like I said before, let me know if you guys have stayed here, and let me know if you want to see more resort tours in the future. Thanks so much, guys, for having a drink with me. Thank you so much for walking around, and thank you for watching. Also, guys, thank you for subscribing, because right now we're up to 330 subscribers, I think, at the time I'm filming this, and I'm very thankful for that. Thank you so much. And guys, on that note, we'll see you on the next go around.